An absolutely classic World Heavyweight Championship match between CM Punk and Finn Balor. Adam Pearce is at his wits' end with the Vision. Becky Lynch has another Intercontinental Championship match and so much more. This is the Raw Recap, a WWE and Fanatics original production. Oh, Megan, what a Monday Night Raw.
How about it?
From Belfast, Ireland. First at the top, I want to say that we're all thinking about Javon Evans.
Yes, we are.
Who they had to stop his match with El Grande Americano earlier tonight. Obviously, he's not going to be a part of the Raw Recap tonight. I know he's being evaluated by the medical team at WWE, and hopefully by next week we find out more about what's going on with Javon Evans, but we're all hoping for the best. All that said, Monday Night Raw, I would imagine behind the scenes, is a disorganized mess.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because at some point, the general manager of Monday Night Raw became a highly emotional, some might say vindictive, human being who will stop at nothing to get at the Vision, to the point where, like, if I'm on that show and I'm not in the Vision, can you imagine, like, knocking on Adam Pearce's office door and then realizing he's sitting at ringside for the match?
I mean, he had a lot of people who are looking for him. The New Day included in that.
Yep.
You know, I was wondering if Adam Pearce was going to come out, and we're going to get to this later, with Natalya attacking Maxine Dupree, but no.
AJ Styles, we'll get to that later as well.
Yeah, Adam Pearce preoccupied with Paul Heyman and the Vision.
I mean, I've got to say, you know, I do think that when you look at this battle between Adam Pearce and the Vision, it feels like Adam Pearce is being led astray by his emotions, because every time you see an interaction between Paul Heyman and Adam Pearce, who appears to be, by the end of the conversation, maybe you don't get it at the beginning of the conversation, but by the end of the conversation, who appears to be in complete control?
Paul Heyman. But here's the thing with Paul Heyman. He knows exactly which buttons to push.
I mean, I loved...
And which phone calls to arrange.
I want to know who was on the other end of the phone.
Right?
That was really... And it's so funny. Like, the world of professional wrestling is supposed to be an escape for a lot of us. You know, we plunk down in front of the TV and these stories play out in front of our eyes. But anybody that's ever been involved in any sort of corporate anything at work has seen, like, their boss getting yelled at by their boss above them, and this corporate political, like, interplay happening. And it's so stressful. And that's what I get with all of this Adam Pearce stuff. Like, Adam Pearce is trying to control things on Monday Night Raw, but he's so far out of control. So you see, like, in the match, right, you had Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, and Penta, which is a nuts
Insane
trios tag team versus the Vision. And I'm telling you, like, in my mind, I'm wondering how far this goes with Paul Heyman manipulating everything, because it seems like with the Vision, and we saw this play through, obviously Braun Breaker wasn't on Raw tonight.
because he's suspended.
I guess, but he was invited to Raw next week. So how suspended could he possibly be?
It depends who is on the phone.
That's right. That's right. But Paul Heyman has the Vision now to the point where he's in complete control. Even more so, I would say Paul Heyman is more in control of the Vision than he was even in control of the Bloodline. Like, I don't know that we've ever seen Paul Heyman with this kind of control over these kind of high-level people. I'm talking about Braun Breaker and Austin Theory and Logan Paul and Bronson Reed. Like, all these people that were earmarked for success early, somehow they're completely falling in line. I mean, this is like, when you look at how in step the members of the Vision are with whatever Paul Heyman says,
Yep.
it's like it's the ECW roster.
Well, it's wild that you say that he has more power and more control over the Vision than he ever did with the Bloodline, because when you think back to the Bloodline, ultimately Paul Heyman still had to answer to Roman
That's right.
Reigns.
Yes, my tribal chief.
Who does Paul Heyman have to answer to now?
I don't think nobody.
Not even Adam Pearce.
Nobody, especially since Seth left.
That's right.
Like, this has now become like, no. This is Paul Heyman's vision that now matches the vision. Paul Heyman's vision is wrapped around these 4 superstars being in control of the WWE. And so for these 4 superstars, they're like, yeah, that vision sounds really great to me. And you know what? Let's take it right now. And I'm watching, right? And I'm seeing Adam Pearce. It's one thing for Paul Heyman to be distracting a referee. But for Paul Heyman and Adam Pearce to be bickering on the apron, distracting the referee in the middle of the match, I'm like Adam Pearce has totally lost the plot.
There was one moment where I thought, oh my gosh, Paul Heyman is going to bait Adam Pearce into putting hands on him.
And then while the referee is distracted, and then Adam Pearce and Paul Heyman are distracting him. Now, they have them. Everybody in the vision has like Adam Pearce just spinning and spinning around in circles every time this guy's focused on another member, somebody behind his back. It's like the Little Rascals, except violent. Somebody behind his back is doing something else. Where like you see Austin Theory get the brass knuckles slipped to him, and I'm telling you, I believe that those brass knuckles were not slipped to Austin Theory so that Austin Theory could win that match. I don't even think that Paul Heyman necessarily cared that they lost the match to Ray, Penta, and Dragon Lee. I don't feel like on this night for the Vision that was the primary objective.
No, the primary objective was to get to Pearce and make sure Braun Breaker can come back to Monday Night Raw.
Because when they slipped Austin Theory the Knucks and Adam Pearce found them, he physically got involved again. Mm-hmm. He physically got involved in the match and physically took those brass knuckles out of Austin Theory's hand.
So technically, once again, put hands
on a member of the Vision.
That's right.
So he's already like at ringside for this match, which is showing too much interest in this group. Then he's putting his hands on Austin Theory, where Paul Heyman's like, I don't know where the brass knuckles came from. I don't like there's so much plausible deniability created in this winding road that has Adam Pearce doing exactly what Paul Heyman wants him to do, to the point that you're right. I think Paul Heyman was willing to take a punch tonight because he knew that would be checkmate.
Paul Heyman is playing Adam Pearce like a fiddle.
I do, to your point, want to know who's he talking to. Because he said in the beginning of the show, nobody called you? Nobody called you? Like, who's calling Adam Pearce? Is there who? I don't even know how the corporate structure works with GMs of Monday Night Raw. Is it Triple H? Is it somebody in the gorilla position from Unreal? Is it the board of directors? I don't know. But I want to know, like, who, because somebody shook up Adam Pearce, because all of a sudden he goes, well, yeah, why don't you have Braun Breaker come back to Monday Night Raw next week and we can talk?
And then Paul's like, oh, because of the phone call? This has nothing to do with the phone call,
yeah,
according
right.
to Pearce.
Yeah, right.
Interesting how everything seemed to change as soon as that phone call came through.
I mean, that's like the rule in sales, right? Or in any negotiation. Whoever talks first loses. Mm-hmm. So Braun Breaker gets suspended. Fine, I'm suspended. I'm going home. And then it's Adam Pearce going, hey, would you like to come back? All of a sudden, Braun Breaker is in this position of power. And I think when I'm looking at it, I don't know how exactly it's going to end up, but being in a position of power on the road to the Royal Rumble, on the road to WrestleMania, is the absolute best time in the WWE to be in a position of power.
Yeah, I mean, this is the most important time of the year for WWE superstars. What better time is it to be in a position of power? What better time is it to have leverage heading into the Royal Rumble?
Leverage is the word. Like, think about all the doors that'll open. And with everybody declaring for the Rumble, does the Vision get to just sit there and go like, yeah, all 4 of us? Because, I mean, they say every man for himself, but I don't recall, at least in the short period of time that they've been around. Like, even when we had Austin Theory on the show, there was no, it's a complete, and a lot of factions will say this, but it's clearly not true. Mm-hmm. But it's a complete all for one for all mentality where there is a mission.
Truly.
I think of all 4 of those guys, and none of them have declared for the Rumble. But if all 4 of them were to be in the Rumble, there'd be one mission that all 4 of them were working on achieving.
Yes.
And I think that if anybody can pull it off, it's them.
And based on their actions, I have no doubt in that. Now, a couple of weeks ago, right, I would say I'm not so sure I can see Logan Paul as a team player. I'm not so sure I can see all of these people coexisting. In fact, I even said that right here on this show. I can't see them.
After the title match, you said it.
But a week later, I go, oh no, the vision is unified. The vision is all for one.
I mean, why wouldn't Adam Pearce just like see there's a chess game happening and I'm playing checkers?
Because he's leading with his emotions.
He is. You can't do that in a position of power.
You get yourself into trouble.
Every time. Every time, especially with somebody like Paul Heyman who can smell those out and go, oh, I can manipulate those. I can make you do crazy. And then you're looking back and you're looking at like the show going like, why would I have done all that stuff? How did that even happen? That's the power, man. There were a couple things too about the match itself. First of all, like seeing Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, and Penta teaming together on Raw. We say it every time that Rey steps in the ring, but at this point in his career, it should be said every time Rey steps in the ring.
It should.
The rate at which that superstar, Hall of Famer, is still wrestling. I mean, you forget how long he's been around because he's timeless because of the mask. It turns into this total other thing. Like it almost is like, well, there's human beings and then there's Rey Mysterio.
No, I think that is how it is.
Because the action backs it up, right?
Yes.
It was, I mean, unbelievable. There was that one moment, the sort of the triple plancha to the outside where they all kind of lined up, the three of them, and went over the rope.
And it went right to break after that. Yeah. It was so good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and a huge win, regardless of all the tomfoolery that was going on with Adam Pearce and Brass Knuckles and this and that. I thought it was smart that the luchadors were like, well, I mean, whatever. Like, all these guys are worried about all this other stuff. Let's just focus on winning the match.
Yeah, let's take the Brass Knuckles and win the match. And the thing.
And that's what we did. And then also something that, like, really, I was like, this is something that deserves to be mentioned, is that Logan Paul is just wrestling on Raw in Belfast.
How about that?
That's another thing. I think we both talked about it only a few months ago when Logan Paul was running around being like, I'm a full-time wrestler. And you and I were both like, can you just say that? Like, you could just say you're a full-time wrestler? You don't have to be on. You would think that your actions would prove that because he was not on television every week. He was just saying he's a full-time wrestler. I think both of us were like, I don't think he's a full-time wrestler.
No, if you're not wrestling on a Monday Night Raw, middle of the show, I don't think you're a full-time wrestler.
But like right under everybody's nose, and I feel like people just take it for granted now, he's a full-time wrestler. He's just wrestling on Raw in a 6-man tag in Belfast.
It hit me when his music played.
Right.
Ayo.
I know.
Because typically when we hear the start of Logan Paul's music, we go, oh, he's back to ruin something.
Right. That's a good point. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Logan Paul is here. Oh, boo.
Yes.
But in this case, this was a Monday Night Raw match.
And this is where he should be.
Yeah.
Right? This is where he's been every week.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, I feel like he might be the first celebrity to have come in as sort of a novelty celebrity wrestler that would just come in. And then, you know, there have been other celebrities that will come in and out and do their thing. But I can't remember another celebrity that started as a celebrity wrestler and then became a full-time wrestler right under everybody's nose. To the point where it's like and people, especially somebody like Logan Paul, that nobody wanted here to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And like, and he knows it's a nightmare for most wrestling fans to say that's WWE superstar Logan Paul. But there's no falsities in that statement.
Not right now, there's not.
And it's upsetting to a lot of people. But
and a lot of people still want to go, no, he's not a full-timer. No, he's still an outsider. But if Logan Paul keeps showing up and having matches on Monday Night Raw, what else can you say about it?
I mean, I watched a YouTube video of a 5-year-old that was doing an entrance for the WWE, and Logan Paul called him an outsider and said he was tired of all these outsiders coming into WWE, coming into his industry.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, and a part of me wonders if he decided to become a full-time wrestler so that he can call out other people for being outsiders, so he can call out the Jelly Rolls and so on for being outsiders when that's exactly who he was 5 minutes ago.
Not long ago at all.
I know.
Or because Paul Heyman presented him with an opportunity And Logan Paul wants to capitalize on it.
I mean, it is interesting when you go back because it's like Logan Paul had that thing with CM Punk where for a second it looked like he and Punk may be on the same side.
Yes.
And then he turned on Punk and then he sided with the Vision. And that was like November, I want to say, because it was starting to lead up to Elimination Chamber. I'm sorry, War Games. And then the thought was that he'd be on the team for War Games. And then all of a sudden, no, he's a part of the Vision.
I know. I thought he'd come for War Games, go away, come back for Royal Rumble, and then be around for the build to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But Logan Paul's around every week.
It might have been wishful thinking on your part. I don't know if,
some, right?
Yeah, I don't know if we need
For
him.
Adam Pearce, definitely.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see what happens there. But speaking of CM Punk, we got an absolute classic
So good.
to main event this thing. Finn Balor.
Old school music.
Old school music, old school entrance.
Ooh.
That's sounded exactly like it.
Tonight when I was getting ready to come here, I knew this is the main event, and I was thinking, oh, I'm so excited to see Finn Balor in the main event. I don't remember the last time I saw Finn Balor in a main event singles match.
No, and he promised.
Don't remember it.
And he promised the Prince,
Yes.
and that's who he gave us.
So happy.
And, you know, Michael Cole and Corey Graves told the story on commentary that this was, because you're right. There's been so much going on with the Judgment Day and so much sort of turmoil and things that go on backstage and intergroup dynamics that you forget who the Prince was. You forget the first NXT run. You forget the second NXT run when he came back to NXT as the Prince. You forget about him winning the Universal Championship. You forget about the impact that he had on the main roster early on. Like, you forget about Finn Balor. And it's the biggest mistake you could make. I was so glad that Balor was on Cody's podcast and they were talking about his past and the impact that he's had on the industry at large.
Yeah.
Because
he's changed the industry.
And you would never know it because he doesn't talk about it. He's just living in today. And for him today was a World Heavyweight Championship match in Belfast, Ireland. And I mean, they were going nuts for the Prince. It's rare these days that CM Punk gets booed. But it was boos the whole night. Yaz for the Prince. Yas for the Prince,
Yes.
Finn Balor. Boos for CM Punk.
Which is insane to think about.
And
Every arena we've been in, Sam, since CM Punk returned a few years ago at Survivor Series, the entire building echoes CM Punk chants, whether CM Punk is in the building or not.
I mean, the entire building was echoing CM Punk chants for the 10 years before he came back, too. But, like, you're right. Like, there is still, with Punk, there is still to this day, even though he's been back for 2 years, there is still this idea of when you're in the building, you look at this guy and you're like, I can't believe he's back. This is amazing. This is so exciting. Except what was more exciting for Ireland, I think, was we get to see Finn Balor in a world heavyweight title match. And I mean, and wrestling at a tippity top level. You know what I mean? Reminding people, and I've said this before, that Finn Balor is this rare case where he can be doing whatever else on the roster. He could be teaming with JD McDonough. He can be playing 2K in the Judgment Day Clubhouse. As himself, as he should. If I were Finn Balor, I would play as myself too. Look at those abs. He's the only guy who there's a render of him on a video game and he's like, I actually look a little better in person. Like, it's incredible, this guy. But like, he could be doing any of that. He could just like put his feet up for months and then go like, okay, today's the day. Let me go remind everybody that I'm one of the best to have ever done this.
And he does.
And he did it tonight. That's what tonight was. And we were in there and you were saying, I don't remember the last time Finn Balor had a big singles match.
Don't remember.
You know, but then you see him and there's nothing out of place about it.
And I'm like, why doesn't he have more big singles matches? I like this.
Right. I mean,
there was the moment when he hits the coup de grace and you think, you know, he had Punk for 2 and you're like, oh, what if?
Did he? I mean, I know the answer because I was in the room with you. Did you have moments where you were like, it's happening?
Yes.
Balor's getting it.
Yes.
I know you did.
Just a few moments where like your heart drops and the late kick out or the late shoulder comes up and you go, oh, maybe.
He had those moments where he'd hit you with the gun, that like whatever it's called, where he goes for the sleeper and slams you down, the drop kick with the 2 where he lands on his back going into the corner. And the way this dude moves, when he kicks you into the corner, and as you're coming off of the corner, he doesn't take that moment to like wait until you are on the mat and then look at the crowd and go, should I do it, gang? Should I do? Yeah, okay, let me get out of the ring and go to the top rope. It's like this fluid, poetic motion where he kicks you, you hit the turnbuckles. As you're falling down on your back, he's already leaving the ring to get to the top rope.
And I'm watching it going, it's happening. Right. It's happening.
Yes.
It's happening. Finn Balor's going to be the new World Heavyweight Champion.
And the reason is because the speed that it's all happening, you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then he hits that coup de grace perfectly. And it really was this like, what if? But what if is where it ends.
Those what if moments are my favorite thing about professional wrestling. My favorite part.
Well, and the best is that like all you need is one to actually happen. Mm-hmm. And then that will take you for the next several months of seeing it everywhere. Like the minute Drew McIntyre beat Cody Rhodes in 3 Stages of Hell, now everything is like,
it could happen.
It would never happen, but it could happen. No, they would never, but they did this. You know what I mean? And it completely changes the dynamic. And I think it changed the dynamic of tonight. I think there were also there were a lot of ways that you could go in terms of you could bring out the Judgment Day here. You could have a foreign object or a DQ or chicanery or tomfoolery or whatever it was. But the fact that it was like, once again, CM Punk just catches that one moment. Mm-hmm. And on that night, for that one moment, he got the 3, and that's what he needed. And CM Punk retains the title. Kind of the same way he did with Braun Breaker.
I was just going to say that. Now there were outside interference with the Braun Breaker match. The Vision got involved and, all the Luchas got involved. But that all kind of canceled it. Yeah, that canceled out. And then it was that one moment that CM Punk bested Braun Breaker, and CM Punk's still your World Heavyweight Champion.
Right. The Braun Breaker one, it was just a matter of getting the knee up when Braun went for the last spear. Mm-hmm. And then that knee led to the go to sleep. And the same thing tonight. It was almost like, oh. And then all of a sudden, before you even realize it, Finn Balor is up on dude's shoulders. And then boom.
And we all know how that ends.
1, 2, 3. CM Punk wins. And it's like, of course you're going to have all these what if moments and fantasy booking and everything going on in your head. But ultimately, and I think it's very interesting for Punk because Punk's title reign that he has right now is not necessarily one that anybody expected.
No.
Or even that probably WWE expected, because the only reason it's happening, most likely, is because Seth Rollins went down with an injury. Mm-hmm. And so things changed, and all of a sudden CM Punk was the World Heavyweight Champion. And it's like, and because it happened so quickly and out of the blue, you almost go, well, the moment of Punk being champion is like, this is so cool. And the story at first is, wow, after all this time, you didn't even think he would ever be back, and now CM Punk is the man, and he's the World Heavyweight Champion, and that's great. But what is the story of the reign? What defines CM Punk's title reign? And I think the answer to that question is finishes like we see in matches like this, in matches with Braun Breaker, where it's not about, chicanery. It's not about interference. It's not about, an angle or pushing the story this way. It's about outsmarting in this moment, on this night. It's about the fact that CM Punk, that something happens when you've been wrestling as long as CM Punk has. Corey Graves talked about it on commentary at the beginning of the match. He talked about CM Punk's wrestling psychology and the fact that he can solve puzzles that he doesn't even know exist yet. And I think that is how you have to define this title reign for CM Punk, that he finds that one opening, that one thing that he needs. It's not about this formulaic, systematic, beat down and ripping apart. It's about, there was the opening.
And finding a way to capitalize
That's
on
right.
It. Because the opening can come at any point for a match, and most superstars can't capitalize on the moment. And once the moment is gone, it's gone. You don't get that moment back. But CM Punk, throughout his title reign, capitalizes on all those moments, and that leads to him retaining his title.
Yeah, and it's also about his ability to survive, just to keep fighting and keep fighting. There's very few wrestlers that have that reputation as much as Punk, where you can just throw anything at them and they're going to find a way. They're just scrappy. They're going to keep fighting and survive long enough where, to your point, they're still alive when that opening comes. Because you're right. When's it going to come? If it's going to come later in the match, guess what? I'm going to have to survive long enough. I'm going to have to kick out of this coup de grace. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to do that. And sometimes that opening comes because people are like, what do I have to do to this guy? And just as you're thinking that, that's the one moment you let your guard down. I got my knee up. I got my forearm in. Whatever it is, you're on my shoulders now. And it's night-night.
And really, for Punk, his whole career has been about surviving.
That's right.
Finding a way.
Yes. Well, Becky Lynch also found a way tonight. You know,
I'm so glad you brought her up.
Well, a lot of people have new merch available at Fanatics and WWE Shop. First of all, AJ Styles, who we also have to talk about tonight. AJ Styles, who, I mean, this may be his last line of merch.
Especially after what we learned.
This could be the end of AJ Styles, but he apparently will still be phenomenal forever. AJ Styles has a new collection of anniversary merchandise available. It's now at WWE Shop. It's on Fanatics. It's including a 10th anniversary Signature Series title. You can get that AJ Styles Championship with a custom strap, custom plates. This title is a must-have for any belt collector, any AJ Styles collector. Of course, you got the shirts, the hoodie, the long sleeve, the hat, everything. Hard to believe it's been 10 years in the WWE, but the Royal Rumble is AJ Styles' event. And then, of course, Becky Lynch.
I ordered mine already.
Of course you did.
Did you?
No, I was hoping I get a freebie or something.
Of course, typical Scam Roberts.
Becky Lynch
looking to beat the system.
Is still the man and just dropped a new T-shirt. Head over to WWE Shop and Fanatics and rep her magazine cover T-shirt today. Of course, people should know it's a great T-shirt. If you're a fan of Becky Lynch, you should pick it up. It is a forged magazine cover. She wasn't really on the cover of that magazine.
I should be doing these reads for Becky Lynch.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay. Well, maybe next time. Grab the shirts. You could be like Megan. If you want to dress like Megan, and who doesn't? You're an icon.
That's right. Thank you.
WWE Shop and Fanatics.
I heard that they're already record-breaking sales for this Becky Lynch shirt.
What record?
Records of all of the
more
sales.
Okay, good.
More
That's a good
shirts. Fanatics has already said this is the best-selling T-shirt that they've ever had.
Fanatics said that. Where?
It's all over.
Oh, I guess I'll just check then.
Yeah, it's all over. All over the internet, everywhere.
The trades?
Yeah, all the trades, everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, then you don't want to miss out. You don't want to. I mean,
you gotta get your hands on this shirt. They're gonna fly off the shelves.
Apparently, they already are. What do you mean? They're going to fly off the shelves? Yeah. You said that they've already broken
record-breaking sales.
Already, or they're going to be record?
No, already.
Oh.
And then it's probably gonna break her own record. I got the whole control room shirts. Everybody.
You got them. So the record-breaking sales are mainly going to the Morant house.
I got your family some too.
They don't need them.
They're going to love them.
She said unkind things about members of my family, the small ones.
Horrible children.
That's what she said. Well, you didn't have to say that that's what she said, but that's what she said. Regardless, they are available.
You all right there?
I got another one. They are available.
You bring a backup pen to the show in case you accidentally just throw it on the ground.
Honestly, that was
rage.
Honestly, that was pretty cool that I was able to pull another one just like that, wasn't it?
It was like a magic trick.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch T-shirt available now at WWE
She gets
Shop.
you all fired up. You're throwing pens all over the studio.
And Fanatics.
Relax. Will you take a deep breath? Relax.
You're right. Becky Lynch did defeat Maxine Dupree.
Heck yeah.
Tonight. I mean, there is a story to tell around that victory. You think it's just kind of...
No, I actually saw on Twitter before we came on the show that once again, Pierce, as we know, can't be trusted.
He has been having a rough couple weeks.
With not just the Vision of Paul Heyman, with Becky Lynch and many others on the roster as well. But he called for a specific camera angle. Oh. And that camera angle...
He's calling the camera angles?
I mean, he's the general manager. He's in charge of the whole show. So he called for a specific...
He's in the truck? I thought he was in his office.
Well, no, he was ringside. But during Becky's match, truck.
Wow.
He called for a specific camera angle.
Right.
that miss that Becky got her shoulder up.
Is that true?
It is.
He's got to get better about delegating.
I know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Where'd
Becky
you hear
did,
that?
I saw that on Becky Lynch's Twitter actually.
Okay, all right.
So it's
I didn't realize that was where you. Okay, well that's fine then.
So it was good that Natty got her foot on the rope, but Becky did have the shoulder, so she didn't need the help anyways.
So regardless of if the foot was on the rope, the pin wouldn't have counted.
Yeah, we can talk to Danilo about it. I'm sure he saw it. Excellent referee.
Yeah, I've heard good things, but he'll only do shows if you pay him to do them.
That's true.
He
He's
won't
very
do
cheap.
free
Very
podcasts.
cheap.
He's very cheap. Yeah, listen. First of all, Maxine Dupree has been getting better and better every single week.
She has.
And let me tell you something. My jaw is on the ground every time she hits that like delayed kip up. You know, when she like kicks her feet up and then she comes up, but she's still arched back and just slowly like cranks up. It's amazing the control that this human being has. It's unbelievable.
Every time she does it, I'm like, is she gonna get up? Is she
Yeah.
gonna make it?
Yeah.
She delivers every time.
It's unbelievable. The muscle control. It's crazy. Natalia, her trainer, she's been going to the dungeon. She's been getting better. She was on this show talking about how much it's helped becoming a regular student at Natalia's school at the dungeon.
I mean, these two were tag team partners.
They were tag team
I
partners.
have a shirt that says Dungeon Dolls and it has Maxine and Natalia.
You have
on
that
it.
shirt?
I have it.
Does Becky know you have that shirt?
I haven't told her yet.
Okay,
so
well, let's clip it.
don't clip it.
Clip it.
Please don't clip
Let's
it.
clip
You
it.
know,
Yep.
we all have a past.
Control room has let me know Becky does know
This
now.
when she was in the Dungeon Dolls, this was before she was moody. So I get a pass.
She's moody now?
Maxine's very moody right now.
Oh, okay. Well,
Which
listen,
is potentially
I'd be
why
in a bad-
Natalia did what she did.
Well, I'd be in a bad mood if Natalia did that to me too.
Everybody would.
Right. Okay. So Natalia's there on Raw. She's like, I'm going to come out with you to make sure that Becky Lynch doesn't do the underhanded things this week that she did last week, specifically hooking the rope on her way over, to cover Maxine.
And this was a big ask because it's not like, they're down the street. Like Natalia flew all the way to Ireland.
She stamped her passport to get this done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's there, shows up to ringside. And of course, and we saw those training videos too. Don't forget that black and white footage
The
of
intensity.
Yeah, Maxine getting mean.
Mm-hmm.
So Natalia's out there at ringside, watching her back. Eventually, I didn't realize the. By the way, I think Becky credit. It was Becky did the superplex on Maxine that then rolled through into a DDT.
Pretty slick.
That was a slick. I was gonna say it was sick, but Becky would prefer it. That was sick. It was
Slick.
great. Slick. Sorry, that was slick. But Maxine, it would appear, had her beat.
I don't know about that.
I was watching the Pierce camera angle.
I didn't see it, so
Well, you
I
should have
didn't.
watched.
I didn't.
But,
see it. Pierce
but you
camera
should have
angle.
watched it. It's your responsibility. But as she's got Becky Lynch covered, we see Natalia put Becky's foot on the rope and just stare right at Maxine. And Maxine, look at that. And Maxine goes, "Why would you do that?" And look at the cock of the head of Natalia, going like, "Yes, I did that. What are you gonna do?"
With so much confidence, and look at the way she's crossing her arms and just the smirk on her face.
And this goes back to the emotions too. This goes back to the taking advantage of people who are going to get emotional about this stuff. Like Maxine's head was completely out of the game at that point. Like you look at this, and this is not a person that is wrestling the Intercontinental Champion anymore. This is a person who is focused on being betrayed by Natalia, who's on the outside of the ring, and Natalia just looking right at her, going I did that, and I'm glad I did that.
I mean, it's so difficult, right? We've been through friend breakups before. I mean, at least I've been through friend breakups
No,
before.
I
And when
haven't.
you have a friend turn their back on you, I mean, that hurts more than any, romantic relationship that's thrown away. These two have been together since Maxine came into WWE, and Maxine was, she was very upfront about the fact that she's been learning sort of on the job, and Natty's been a huge part to Maxine learning. When she sat down with us at Madison Square Garden, she talked so much about Natalia. The fact that the person who trained her stabbed her in the back, that cuts deep.
You've had that happen to you a lot?
Friend breakups? Every now and then.
Sounds bad. I don't know.
Never? You've never had
Me?
a friend breakup?
No.
Never once?
Never. No,
Everybody's
on my
line
side, yeah.
of
No,
people who want to be friends with you.
so far, yeah. So far, so
So
good.
you're like a Natalya. You're just.
I guess so. And then lucky me, I guess if that's the comparison you want to make, yeah, I guess so. I guess so. And sometimes I will have to do this with people.
I hope I'm not next in line.
Maybe we'll see. We'll see how you do.
Could it happen live here on the show?
That's when I would do it.
I don't know. Last week I was your young and in the Sam Roberts coaching tree, and now you're talking about kicking me out.
Well, I'm just trying. Look, I think it's important to keep you on your toes. That's all. I don't want anybody to ever get too comfortable, especially under the Sam Roberts coaching tree. It's important. I'm going to start with a whistle.
There's high expectations. And hey, maybe.
If I'm the coach here, I should be wearing that sleeveless hoodie.
Then you'd be like Bill Belichick, which might be a little creepy.
That's
a little
true.
creepy.
Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. There's too much. There's a lot going on there. But Natalya not only costing Maxine the match, Becky Lynch coming out victorious. And to Becky Lynch's credit, she did take advantage of the distraction. Manhandle slam, 1, 2, 3. And listen, I'm not going to say great things about Becky Lynch.
You never do.
Nor should I.
You should.
I am
She's
a human.
the greatest female wrestler of all time, and you
Says who?
always just berate her.
Who would say that?
Sports Illustrated,
Really?
Bleacher Report,
Oh.
ESPN, Megan Morant.
All
lot of
except the
people.
last, I guess, are somewhat credible. But
She's the voice of justice.
who is
Becky Lynch.
the voice of?
Justice.
Why? What? Why
She's
would
been fighting all the injustice, which you're a part of.
Oh, I forgot.
Huge part of.
I'm a huge part of the injustice.
Yes.
Oh.
Because you spread lies.
Like?
The fact that you're talking about Becky Lynch cheating and using underhanded tactics.
That's not
and
true.
all of these things.
Okay.
You just don't give her the credit she deserves.
Oh, okay. Well, it's tough. She needs a lot of credit. Like a lot.
She's the greatest.
I forgot. Yeah, and then we're going to go back into the cycle of Sports Illustrated in this one and the Bleacher Report.
The Bleacher Report.
Yeah,
Don't
no,
forget
of
the
course. You got to remember. You got to title it correctly. So Becky hits that manhandle slam, gets out of Dodge, Intercontinental title, and honestly, Maxine's the one that made the mistake here. Look, you can say what you want about what Natalya did, but Maxine got distracted the same way AJ Styles letting Gunther out of that calf crusher because he felt the tap, even though the referee never told him to let it go. That's AJ's mistake. Tonight was 100% Maxine's mistake. That's the second time in a row she has not been ready for Becky Lynch. I would not be sitting here eager to give Maxine a rematch.
No.
For what it's worth.
She already got one that she didn't really deserve.
Well, I don't know about that. But I will say that I am ready for another match with Maxine because after Becky Lynch gets out of town, Natalya gets in the ring, starts beating the stuffing.
Yeah.
And I mean, hammer fisting. Poor Maxine Dupree. Maxine's on the ground still trying to figure out why is my friend and trainer and confidant doing this to me. Maxine hits her back once, but then Natalya goes to town again. It's kick, it's punch, it's sharpshooter, it's this. Michael Cole and Corey Graves are trying to tell you what's going to come up next on Raw. Meanwhile, they're just watching, still in the ring.
Nobody's
Natalya
coming out to help Maxine.
No, apparently Adam Pearce was too busy worried about the vision or something like that. Because, I mean, poor Danilo was in there by himself trying to be like, could you please stop? Could you please stop? And Natalya was like, no, I can't stop.
He was getting rattled. His hair was all over the place.
That's right. He still kind of looked like Eddie Munster, but regardless, I am really hoping that this opens the door for a new Natalya.
I am too.
Maybe with one less syllable.
We've been waiting.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
a long time.
Like, let's get that Loki legend in there. Let's see what is that. Because Natalya is the storied career of Natalya in the WWE. And I feel like for a long time, Natalya has been in this position where it's like, yup, you're gonna make the new women even better. And that's kind of like, your job. And then they go on to all the glory. At a point, you're going to want the glory for yourself. And I think that Natalya has finally gotten to that point where it's like all of us, we're on here on this show week after week after week talking about how good Maxine Dupree is, how much better she's getting and better she's getting, how impressive she is, how impressive she was in this match, how impressive she was in that match. I would imagine it's very difficult for Natalya to be hearing all that and realizing that she can still do this to Maxine. She can still tie Maxine up into a pretzel. I think Natalya found a little stew heart in her. quite
so
frankly,
too.
and going like, okay, all right, youngin. All right, you want to see what we could do here? You want to see what we got here? She's going to bring her down to the basement, and you're going to hear screams coming from the pipes of that Calgary dungeon. I mean, I love this side of Natalya for Natalya.
And you think back to the very first interaction between Becky Lynch and Maxine Dupree, and it was Natalya stepping up to Becky Lynch and telling Becky Lynch that she had changed and she didn't like the way she talked to Nikki Bella. And Natalya was standing up for the entire women's locker room. And Becky said, okay, fine, you're on next week. And Natty was ready to take the match. And she looked beyond Natty, pointed at Maxine, and said, no, how about you, sweet cheeks? So once again, Natalya passed over for an opportunity for Maxine Dupree. Tonight, Natalya took matters into her own hands.
I guess that is a great point, right? Because when this whole thing began, the idea was that Becky Lynch was like, let's just call it what it is. Becky Lynch was calling Maxine Dupree out because she was easier to beat than Natalya. That was
long time ago.
Right. This was months and months and months and months and months ago.
This was when Becky Lynch cut the promo of the year where she said, you can't see him anymore.
I mean, yeah.
And then it was backstage and Natalya is standing up for Nikki Bella. This was back when Nikki Bella.
Before she
was, destroying, trying to destroy the champion's leg and
wearing
Raquel
green and silver and
all of those things. This was a different Nikki Bella. But Natalya
pre-Philly.
Yes. This was Natalya sticking up for all of the women's locker room.
Yeah, and Becky choosing Maxine over Natalya.
And calling her sweet cheeks.
Sweet cheeks. You remember that one. You called Maxine sweet cheeks for months after that.
It was before Maxine was moody.
No, but it did start that road that resulted in Maxine becoming the Intercontinental Champion. So you're right. Maybe there is a part of Natalya that's like, well, like, I would love to be the Intercontinental Champion. I would have loved that opportunity that you got. And instead, I have to be the one training you so you can get that opportunity. I'm not ready to go into that role yet.
And the reason that you got the opportunity was because Becky thought that you'd be an easier road than me.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what's a road we should all be going down. The road to Topps Universe WWE. Have you heard about Topps Universe WWE? It's making its hobby debut. It's a bold comic-inspired take on WWE collecting. Features a massive 300-card base set. Hall of Famers, current champions, rising prospects, a stunning galactic patterns and vibrant color parallels that bring every superstar to life. By the way, every hobby box guarantees 2 autographs and 1 relic. So you get big hits in every single rip, which I'll tell you, my best friend,
Triple H,
who I rip packs with.
Hope you don't have a friend break up with him.
That would never happen. We're too close. But that
would be called you getting fired.
You would call it that, but I don't think that we're gonna have a friend breakup, especially in that respect, anytime soon. Especially when he finds out about Topps Universe WWE, because he's gonna be like, I want to rip these packs with my buddy Sam, not I want to have a friendship breakup and fire him, to your question. But I'm glad you asked. Don't forget about the Chase short printed inserts highlighting iconic storylines, rivalries, and unforgettable WWE moments. Whether you're hunting grails or building a rainbow, Topps Universe WWE is your ringside seat to the hobby's next heavyweight release. Find Topps Universe WWE on Topps.com and in stores on January the 30th.
I would love it if you got replaced by Becky. Just saying.
Yeah, of course you would.
Yeah,
you get to hang out with her every week.
The best. She's a little busy on Mondays, but it'd be great for me.
I'm not that busy. Listen, you know who may not be very busy at all on Mondays, depending on how things go at the end of the month?
Oh my God, don't say it. Don't say it.
AJ Styles, the phenomenal one.
I am so upset that AJ has agreed to this match.
He had to. Gunther, once again.
No,
what are you going to be? He called Gunther out. You can't then turn around and Gunther goes like, will you put your career on your line? No, never mind, sir. You can't do that. You can't. Not if you're AJ Styles.
I don't want AJ Styles' career to end yet.
You don't think he's going to beat Gunther?
I don't think he's going to beat Gunther.
Whoa.
And I don't think that's crazy to say. Have you seen Gunther lately?
He wins matches. And it's because he's doing stuff like this. He didn't want the match. The Irish fans were chanting very nasty things at him.
They should.
He was getting very frustrated by it. And then all of a sudden he realizes, look, I mean, AJ Styles did not get cheated, in my opinion. Last week on Raw, AJ Styles did not get cheated. He got outsmarted. That's it. And that is something that Gunther has done. You know, there have been a lot of people that go on with the Twitter fingers. And they go, why would Gunther do this? Why would Gunther do that? Why would Gunther tap? This isn't who Gunther... This has always been who Gunther is. Gunther is the guy he's going to take some offense in these matches, right? He's going to get...
He always does.
He's going to get a couple licks thrown his way, and he's ready for it. But ultimately, this is the guy who is going to figure out what's the one way he can win whatever scenario that he's in. And almost always... he figures it out. And that's exactly what he did last week on Raw. And I think he also, you know, if he's backed into a corner, he wants to kind of spin you around so that you're the one who is now backed into the corner. And that's exactly what he did. AJ Styles put him in a position tonight. When Gunther was going down the list of his accomplishments and talking about being the longest reigning intercontinental champion of all time, talking about being a 2-time world heavyweight champion, talking about retiring Bill Goldberg, talking about retiring and making John Cena give up. And then just as he was going to get into the amount of time that he has spent in the ring in a Royal Rumble match, as he declared himself as, at the time, only the second entrant in this year's men's Royal Rumble match. Here comes AJ Styles, demanding a rematch, wanting him to pull double duty at the Royal Rumble. Not only be in the Rumble match, but to face AJ Styles at the show.
And Gunther says no.
He says no. But then AJ says, I mean, it was like Back to the Future. What are you, chicken? And Gunther goes full Marty McFly. Nobody calls me chicken. He doesn't know what to do. AJ Styles said, unless you're scared, you don't want to be called scared if you're in Gunther's position, especially against a guy like AJ Styles. But he says, you don't have anything to offer me. You don't like what's on the line here? I've already proven I can beat you. And then he realizes that career. You know, I think Gunther's in the position where he's like, okay, if I'm going to take this match, after I've already beaten him once, if I'm going to take another match, what can you give me that if I beat you and I get it, I can put it on that list that I just read? And if I can retire AJ Styles said 2026 is going to be his last year wrestling.
But I don't want it to end in
month
January.
number 1. That's the difference here.
I want AJ Styles at WrestleMania.
If you told me...
I want AJ Styles at SummerSlam.
Of course you do. If you told me this match was happening at Survivor Series, I'd go like, yeah, that's the right way to go out.
Yeah.
At the Rumble? And I mean, I don't see Gunther losing.
Me either, which is why I don't want AJ to take the match.
And guess what?
He took the match.
AJ he called his wife.
Smart man.
And his wife told him to kick his you-know-what.
I love her.
She did the right thing. She stood by her man. I love that. But I mean, man, Gunther's going to be licking his chops at this one. And by the way, Gunther declared for the Rumble.
I know, who's to say Gunther doesn't win the Royal Rumble and end AJ Styles' career in the same night?
I mean, but also, even if you were to lose to AJ Styles, he's still got the Royal Rumble to look forward to. He could lose to AJ Styles, but still win the Rumble, still have the night, whatever it is. AJ is not declared for the Royal Rumble.
Mm-mm.
You know why?
Because he has to focus.
Because he might have his career be over by the time the match starts. Because if the AJ Gunther match happens at that show before the Royal Rumble
They're
match,
gonna have to find another entrant.
He's not in the Rumble. So he's not, declared. So now I'm sitting there as a fan, I'm sitting there going, well, you don't even have to, like, if AJ declared for the Rumble, I'd be like, oh, well, then maybe AJ's going to win. But he didn't declare for the Rumble, and he's fighting Gunther. So I'm sitting there going, like, there's no way. There's no way. He was just eyeing up the TNA champion. He's got all kinds of stuff on his plate. And it could all go away. That has very quickly, I mean, the Rumble is a week from Saturday.
Soon.
That has very quickly become must watch. Because even though, we've got 10 days to build up to this, there's still, like you just said, a huge possibility, maybe a better chance than not, that AJ Styles gets retired.
That's a long...
in 10 days.
That's a long flight home from Riyadh.
The last one.
I don't like it. I don't think he should have taken the match.
You don't?
No.
I mean, but what's he going to do? Not take the match? What are you going to not? What are you going to say like, "Oh, no. You raised the stakes too high"?
I want to give these people the last year. I want them to see me at WrestleMania.
Oh, so you knew
throughout the year. So I'm not going to take the match.
So you know you'd lose to me again. You can't. You have to take it.
I know everything you're saying is right. I don't like it because it's Gunther.
Right. No, I get it. But how does AJ Styles even survive if he doesn't take the match? He's damned if he doesn't. But he put himself in this position. He started it.
He stepped up to Gunther because Gunther was being disrespectful. And Gunther said, "Oh, you don't like that?
Well, how
Great.
about this? You stop me, but if you can't stop me, I'd like to have your career, please." It really does change things. I want to talk about all the people who declared for the Rumble, but first, there's big news. Have you heard about the big news? The big news is for WWE fans. The big news is for sports fans. The world's #1 sports fan festival, Fanatics Fest, is making its big return to New York City. Fanatics is bringing you closer to the league's team, superstars, and athletes that you love across 4 action-packed days in July. Wait till you hear this, okay? You can meet your favorite WWE superstars at Fanatics Fest. Fanatics just announced, you ready? Cody Rhodes, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Liv Morgan, Jey Uso, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Randy Orton, Stephanie Vaquer, Tiffany Stratton, and Bianca Belair will all be in attendance, as well as big names across sports like WWE superfan Cam Scatabo. You'll also be able to get your hands on exclusive merch and catch live podcasts. I got the exclusive John Cena Fanatics Fest shirt from last year. You know, I mean, it's always so fun. Tickets are on sale now. And Raw Recap fans, you guys can get a 10% discount by using code RAWRECAP10 at checkout. That's RAWRECAP10 to get those tickets to Fanatics Fest this year, and hopefully we'll see you there.
By the way, we were at a Fanatics event last week.
Yeah.
Shooting some hoops at the Intuit Dome. A lot of people were like, Megan didn't make a shot, but a much better shooting stroke than Sam.
You can have as many strokes as you want.
You also were the one. You were the one who was filming, and I made plenty of shots. You just conveniently didn't send me any videos where I made a shot.
I'm so glad you brought this up. This is so insane, and I've been telling people like, and I bet the control room will 100% agree with me. Okay, people say that Megan is a better basketball player than me,
a better athlete,
based on the video evidence that was presented. Okay. My form was a little less than conventional. I will say that. Okay, but big deal.
A little.
A lot of people thought Muggsy Bogues was not conventional either. But the fact is that if you look at the 2 videos, regardless of, I got my form right, I put 2 up, you put 0 up.
I was also wearing a dress and tights.
So you didn't know
wearing street clothes.
You don't know what I had on under it?
I don't want to know what you had on under it
That's none of your business.
Right? Don't want to know.
But I got 2 up. You got none up.
I made plenty of shots. You sent me 1 video, and the video that you sent me happened to have 0 shots that I made.
That sounds.
I think that was on purpose.
That sounds like some Becky Lynch excuse.
That was on purpose. Didn't even matter. Everybody saw right away. They said, "Oh, Megan is a much better player."
Right. I love her on my team, so she could score exactly 0 points.
I mean, if anyone was defending you, nothing, no points.
I would get 2, just like in the video, and 2 is a lot more than 0.
If you haven't seen the video, Sam's basketball skills, little shaky. I think we're gonna have to set up a contest, maybe at Fanatics Fest.
A little shaky, better than Megan's, but a little shaky.
Not better than Megan's.
Well, you got 0.
That we saw on video.
Video's the video. Okay.
You also got me concussed.
I did not. You were hit with a basketball. It's
to
really
the head.
not that big of a deal.
Drilled.
Listen, we have 2 big shows coming up. Okay. We have Saturday night's main event this Saturday, and then the Royal Rumble the Saturday after. It is a humongous time. 4 massive matches have been announced for Saturday night's main event, I believe. Is it 4 or is it 3? 3. That's right, because the 4-way, we had the matches that made the participants in that 4-way on SmackDown.
That's right.
And it gave us Randy Orton. It gave us Trick Willie. It gave us, who else is in the match? Do we have a graphic?
Sami Zayn.
There it is. Sami Zayn and Damian Priest. Mm-hmm. And I mean, by the way, The Sami Zayn Ilya Dragunov match from SmackDown was absolutely unbelievable.
I mean, look at these guys. I already can't wait for the entrance of Randy Orton. Off the charts.
Off the charts.
Trick Williams, the entire crowd in Montreal.
Trick Williams has been on SmackDown for all of
2 minutes.
2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe. And if he wins this, he's in the WWE Championship match at the Royal Rumble. The winner of this gets Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble.
And then think about Montreal with Sami Zayn coming home.
Oh my gosh. And Damian Priest.
Coming off the ambulance match?
Damian Priest coming off that whole rivalry with Aleister Black, where a lot of fans were asking, okay, now what's next? What's next? What's next? Maybe the WWE Championship. And the fact that Drew McIntyre wins this title out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. And he's the one defending. So now, I mean, the WWE Championship picture is so incredibly different than it was. We find out on Saturday who goes to the Royal Rumble to face Drew McIntyre. We've also got the Women's Tag Team Championship on the line. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, who we saw tonight on Monday Night Raw, also declared for the Royal Rumble match, defend against Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez, who, along with Raquel Rodriguez, are all three of them in the Royal Rumble match. We're just going to find out on Saturday which two are bringing the Tag Team Championship to the Royal Rumble match. But what I loved about the interaction that these two teams had on Monday Night Raw tonight was when Liv Morgan pointed out to Io Sky that you need to watch out for this one because Rhea Ripley turns on her partners. And you go, ooh, she remembers everything.
That's right, because Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan were once upon a time tag team partners.
Yes.
And they appeared to be best friends.
Yes.
Just like
you
Rhea
and all your
and
friends.
Io.
And you and all your friends.
And then they had a friend breakup.
That's right.
A friend breakup.
Right.
See, I'm not the only one who has friend breakups.
I think we're the only one.
Rhea Ripley, who might be the coolest person on the planet, she has friend breakups.
I just said I couldn't relate. And then, of course, massive match announced on Friday, coming off of that 3 Stages of Hell match that Jacob Fatu interfered in, causing Cody Rhodes to lose the WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes called out Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu called out Cody Rhodes. The match itself happens at Saturday night's main event. Cody Rhodes one-on-one with Jacob Fatu. And, you know, I was talking about this today on the Not Sam podcast, but this version of Jacob Fatu, it's like he went away after he got his teeth knocked out of his mouth. And I mean, Jacob Fatu is just not the guy that you want to knock his teeth out of his mouth, because he went away and all of a sudden he's come back, and we haven't seen Jacob on this level since he first showed up to SmackDown. Remember when he first showed up and Paul Heyman is going like, we knew about him. We knew what an asset he could be, but we also knew he was uncontrollable. We also knew that he wasn't fit for polite society. This is
too dangerous for WWE.
Too dangerous. And I feel like Jacob is back in that mind frame.
I mean, getting your teeth knocked out will definitely do something to a person.
I mean, think about just SmackDown alone. He went after Drew McIntyre. He went after Kit Wilson, which...
Kit Wilson.
That's great. That's so not toxic of you. And then he also went after Cody Rhodes. Like, he's going after everybody and does not care. I love this version of Jacob Fatu.
Cody, and this is his return to in-ring action.
It's his return, yes, to having a sanctioned match. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's had plenty of activity in the ring that has been completely unsanctioned. But yes, having an actual sanctioned match. This is not a no disqualification match. This is a standard rules match. So hopefully it stays within the confines. But we also know, I mean, Cody's in a really unique position, and I think one that most of us didn't see him in.
No, I thought that he would have the title on the road to WrestleMania.
But now he's in this match with Jacob, which I don't know if he's going to be able to win. And then, for the third time in this, as the American Nightmare, he's in the Royal Rumble. Mm-hmm. He's in the Royal Rumble match itself. So we got those 3 matches so far announced for Saturday night's main event. And then on SmackDown, Cody Rhodes announced that he was going to be in the Royal Rumble. And I'm sure we're going to find out a lot more about the Royal Rumble next week on Raw. But tonight, a ton of people declaring for the Rumble. It was Cody Rhodes on SmackDown. Then tonight it was Gunther declaring, which is a difference maker. Jey Uso came out and declared for the Royal Rumble.
You got the whole crowd to yeet just to declare for the Rumble.
That's right. And I didn't know that they yeeted in Ireland, but they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeeting is worldwide.
It's a global phenomenon. There's no doubt about that. And everybody can sit there and tell you right now, well, Jay's not going to win the Royal Rumble. You know when the last time everybody said Jay's not going to win the Royal Rumble? Yeah, that's right. And what had happened?
Jay won the Royal Rumble.
He wants to go back-to-back, much like Cody Rhodes did. Then you had Penta, Rey Mysterio, and Dragon Lee, which I think they put out on social, but during one of the Netflix breaks, they announced that they're going to be in the men's Royal Rumble match as well. Over on the women's side, you have Bayley and Lyra announced they were going to be in the Rumble. You have Asuka and Kairi that announced that they were going to be in the Royal Rumble. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky announced they were going to be in the Royal Rumble. Raquel and Liv and Roxanne all announced that they were going to be in the women's Royal Rumble match. So that's, I think, unless I'm forgetting anybody on the women's side, that's 9 women. And then Cody, Gunther, Jacob, Penta, Rey, Dragon Lee. Is that 6 that we've got so far in the men's Royal Rumble?
I believe so.
Woo! And I would imagine Friday on SmackDown, it's going to start filling up. And then next Monday, between Braun Breaker's interaction, whatever it may be,
his return
with Adam Pearce, and the fact that it's the last Monday Night Raw before everybody moves on to Riyadh and the Royal Rumble, I think is going to be intense. And I think this ring is going to start filling up and what the Rumble really looks like.
It's really here.
It's really here.
I'm pumped.
It's going to be amazing. When we go to Monday Night Raw, when we sit here a week from today to recap whatever happens on Raw, who are the tag team champions on the women's side?
Ooh.
Because we also next week on Raw have the Fatal 4-Way men's tag team match to declare the number 1 contenders for the men's tag team championship against the Usos. But on the women's side, Saturday night's main event will have come and gone by the time we get to next Monday Night Raw.
You pointed out.
Who are the tag team champions?
You pointed out that Liv Morgan, when she gets injured and she returns, something crazy happens to Liv Morgan when she has to sit at home. We saw her hit the Oblivion tonight.
Yeah.
And Michael Cole pointed out on commentary that if she hits that this weekend, it's game over for the champions. Liv Morgan is operating on a different level than anybody in WWE. The fact that she's working with Roxanne to bring this gold to the Judgment Day was surprising to me at first, but I see it play out every single week. She is locked in and focused on getting back the title she never lost. Her and Roxanne are going to be your new tag team.
Whoa, that's massive. That is massive, and it would be huge. I also wonder how the Judgment Day is going to feel. We'll find out next week, I hope, about Finn Balor losing. I can't see anybody being upset with Finn Balor for losing that match.
Yeah, it's not like he took his eye off the ball or anything like that.
Nobody did embrace Punk after the match.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to find out what Liv Morgan thinks about that. If she thought it was great, good show of sportsmanship, or what are you celebrating? You didn't win the gold, because she's been very obsessed with everybody in the Judgment Day having world championships, whether it's world heavyweight, whether it's women's world, whether it's world tag team.
Well, she's got to have gold herself in order to say anything to Finn.
We'll find out on Saturday. And we'll be back here with you on Monday. Make sure you're subscribed across all audio platforms. Make sure you're hitting like and leaving comments on the WWE's YouTube channel. And we will see you back here next week for more Raw Recap.